Hello and welcome to the Cardboard Dungeons X-Wing ship reviews. My name is Pat and I am talking about the TIE FO Fighter expansion pack. Now this is the same TIE fighter that came in the Force Awakens core set that was released just a couple of months ago in anticipation of the new movie. This expansion is pretty slim. You've got 6 pilots, 3 of which are unique. 3 are generic, and then only 2 upgrade cards and a single copy of each of those. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the maneuver dial or stat line for this ship. I covered that in my Force Awakens core set review, so go check that out if you haven't done so already. I will show you real quick the maneuver dial, pointing out that these TIE fighters have the Segnor's Loop ability that lets you make it bank at speed 2 in this case, and then turn around. So sort of a curving K-turn. And other than that, they are pretty typical TIE fighters. They can go really fast, and they can turn really hard. And then in the stat line real quick, this is a TIE fighter, same stats as the TIE fighter from the original core set, except that they have 1 shield. And then in their action bar, they gain target lock, and on the upgrade bar, where normal TIE fighters have nothing, these TIE fighters can use the new tech upgrade type. Okay, getting right into the pilots for the TIE FO fighter. First up, we have Omega Leader. 8 pilot skill and 21 points. Enemy ships that you have locked cannot modify any dice when attacking you or defending against your attacks. Now that's interesting. First of all, I got to point out, I find the wording on this to be a little bit weird. Enemy ships that you have locked. They don't say target locked, which is odd, or enemy ships that you have a target lock on. It seems like a break from the standard format that X-Wing uses. Now obviously the intent is there, enemy ships that you have locked, so you need to have a target lock on the enemy ship. I feel like it could have been a little more clearly worded. Maybe I'm wrong about that, I don't know. You guys can comment about how you feel or what you think. But anyways, this is a good ability. This is, as long as you have a target lock, they can't modify their dice when attacking you or defending against your attacks with this guy. So, pretty cool. 21 points, sort of expensive for a TIE fighter, but you get a good ability for it. So, next up we have Zeta Leader. Pilot skill of 7 and 20 points. And when attacking, if you are not stressed, you can receive a stress and roll an additional attack die. So that's pretty good. TIE fighters with their attack value of 2 need whatever help they can get. This guy can take an elite talent as well. So, not terrible. I don't really see this making huge waves in the game, but good ability. Finally, rounding out the unique pilots, Epsilon Ace. Pilot skill of 4, 17 points. While you do not have any damage cards, treat your pilot skill value as 12. He cannot take an elite talent, so that's interesting. This is pretty good. 17 points. You've got a TIE fighter that moves last and shoots first, as long as he has no damage on him. I can see applications for this guy as a lone wolf, sort of running on his own. Just maneuvering around, trying to get into good positioning and shoot first at range 1. But once he takes damage, he's just another TIE fighter, right? So kind of interesting, though, nonetheless. Okay, and finally we get a copy each of the 3 non-unique pilots. Omega Squadron Pilot, Zeta Squadron Pilot, and Epsilon Squadron Pilot. Pilot skills of 4, 3, and 1. And point costs of 17, 16, and 15, respectively. And the Omega Squadron pilot can take an elite talent. Alright, so like I said, there's 2 upgrade cards in this expansion. First up is one that's kind of setting the world on fire right now. Juke, an elite talent costing 2 points. When attacking, if you have an evade token, you may change one of the defender's evade results to a focus result. And this is a small ship only upgrade, so you can't put this on your large ships. Now it's 2 points, which is cheap, and It's not one of the discard to use, so you get to do it over and over again, which is cool. This is cool. I like this one a lot. It's rare in the game to see effects that let you manipulate the defense dice of your opponent when you're making an attack. And I think we're going to see more and more of this. I mean, I think it's a little known rule because you just don't see it being used a whole lot, but after your opponent rolls dice, you get the opportunity to modify them if you have effects like this before they can do anything. Now, the other thing I want to point out is upcoming in the Imperial Assault Cruiser expansion, we have a pilot named Youngster who has an ability that lets him share his elite talent with his swarm, basically. And this upgrade on Youngster, giving however many TIE fighters you can get within range 1 of him, this ability, I think, is gonna be pretty huge. If you imagine having 5 or 6 TIE fighters all shooting on the same target and all of them changing an evade result into a focus on that target. Pretty cool. So watch out for this one. Now, one thing I do like to point out, I think I've dinged Fantasy Flight for this in previous videos. It feels pretty stingy to only have 1 copy of this in this expansion. And I feel the same way about the integrated astromech in the T-70 expansion. I didn't mention it in that video, but that really feels like an upgrade that you should have gotten a couple copies of at least. And I have to imagine that we're going to be seeing more copies of those in upcoming expansions, and the same with Juke. But these are big upgrades that I think people are going to want more of. And right now, at least, to get more copies, you got to buy more of these expansions, which I don't think everybody wants to do. So, anyways, not a huge deal, but it really would have been nice to have at least 2 copies of this one. All right, next up we have a brand new tech upgrade, kind of a big deal. Previously, there was only 1 upgrade of this type in the game. This is Comm Relay, costing 3 points. Starts out by saying you cannot have more than 1 evade token. During the end phase, do not remove an unused evade token from your ship. So this is really cool. You can do an early evade as you're maneuvering up into position for combat, and then keep that evade token on your ship for the next round, and you can take a different action and still have that evade token. That's neat. I like it. I like it a lot. Right now, it's only usable on 2 ships in the game, the 2 Force Awakens ships, the T-70 and the TIE FO. But definitely interesting. A little pricey at 3 points. We'll see where it goes. But I think certainly out of these 2 upgrades, Juke is the big one that people are going to be looking at and really trying to apply into their best squads. So, all right, that's the TIE FO Fighter expansion pack for X-Wing. As always, thank you for watching our X-Wing videos. Be sure to comment below with your thoughts, opinions, anything you'd like to see out of us. We appreciate and read and try to comment back on everything you guys have to say. All right, we'll see you next time.